So Rabbi says, since we're doing this campaign this week, but our minhag is like I discussed in my video on Erev Shabbos, everything we do we have to do with Torah. So we have to discuss some of the Torah of the campaign, some of the critical Torah, some of the Chassidische Torah, some of the Kabbalah Torah. All of them, Mitzvah Hashem, will be a few short videos to explain the Sodas of the campaign from every aspect of Torah. So the first most important thing is the Rambam. Everyone knows we learn a lot of Rambam, and many Eden that know we learn a lot of Rambam, and then we see we make a campaign. They say, don't you know that the Rambam was against raising money for Torah? The Rambam said that Talmidei Chachamim should work, and they shouldn't, and being a henna, they shouldn't rely on the tzibur, they shouldn't rely on the community to support them, they should work themselves. So here's the actual answer. There's a lot of joke answers that we can give and a lot of apologetics that we can do, but here's the actual critical answers. The actual answer is that you should read the whole Rambam. It talks about it at length in Perek Oves, Perek Daled, Perish HaMishnayos, Perek Daled, on the Mishnah of Leitasim Torah Leiskadel Bem, Perek Daled Mishnah Vov, and the Rambam's Mishnayos. And you have to go until the end. Many people have not read until the end, and then they say, well, how could you consider yourself a student of the Rambam if you raise money for your Rebbe Medrash? So you have to read it all the way until the end, and you'll see the actual answer that the Rambam gave to this. So the Rambam, after giving his long rant, long speech against how horrible it is that people rely on the community to support them for their learning and how destructive this is for religion, and all these things are very serious criticism that should be taken very seriously. He says, but the Amnam, what is the thing that the Torah has permitted for Talmidei Chachamim? You see, the Rambam is working within the framework of halacha. The Rambam very much believes that halacha, the mitzvahs, the way, even including Torah Shebal Peh, of course, including the way which he calls it to receive, the way that organizes all the ethical dilemmas, all the ethical questions of life, that's his answers always. So the Rambam was working within this framework. Even when he said that you're not allowed to take money for teaching, for learning, he didn't just say it as a general ethical statement. He claimed that it's the law, it's the Torah Shebal Peh, the Mishnah that says that you're not allowed to do this. And so then he also, in his answer to what a Talmid Chacham can do, what kind of privileges, what kind of monetary privileges do belong to Talmidei Chachamim, he answers in the same way with the halacha. And this is the Rambam's way of reading the mitzvahs, the halacha, as giving you the framework, giving you the guidelines between every virtue, right? Every virtue we know has an extreme good and extreme bad, and too much and too little. And the Rambam sees the halacha as always worrying about these two sides. Almost every Mishnah in Perek Oves, there's an opposite Mishnah that gives you the other extreme. And here also there's the other extreme. And he says like this, what is the thing that the Torah did give for Talmidei Chachamim? That they should give money to people. He says the Torah gave money to people, that person, the Talmid Chacham should give money to people, that person should do business, should do schayra, should do business with his money according to him, and they will give the profit to the Talmid Chacham. He says this is called in the Gemara, Matil Melai Lechis Shel Talmidei Chachamim, and that which means basically that the Talmidei Chacham will be investors. So the Rambam's ideal Talmidei Chachamim is an investor who gives the money, provides the money, and people work for him sort of for free. And the Rambam will explain. And another thing is that if the Talmidei Chacham has some material, some schayra, some things, some merchandise that he wants to sell, they give him the first. So he's like the first ad. If you have an advertisement agency, you have to give the Talmidei Chachamim that have businesses the highest ad, or if you have a marketplace, give them the higher level. So they should sell before everyone else. And the Rambam says these are the laws that God has given for Talmidei Chachamim, these two things. And he explains, and why is this okay? So he says, God gave these Talmidei Chachamim just like he gave for the Kahanim, Trimas and Maasres. The Rambam doesn't complain about the Kahanim. Of course, the Nevi'im, some of them already complained about the Kahanim taking Trimas and not working for the community. But if you do work for the community, then it's the law that you deserve to get Trimas and Maasres, and that is the law. So this law is exactly saying this is how much people should give to support the Talmidei Chachamim, and more than that would be incorrect, less than that would also be incorrect. In the same way, these two laws of Talmidei Chachamim doing business with people, being the investors which don't have to work, or have to work even less than is expected from regular investors, and other people giving them the profits, or Talmidei Chachamim having some kind of precedence in the marketplace that they can sell their material first before other people. This is the law, the Torah law that they are allowed to have. And the Rambam also explains, it doesn't only say this is a law, he also explains why is this not considered bad, why is this not considered them using the community for their own benefit. He says, because this is a normal thing. Merchants, soichrim, business people do this one to another also if they love each other. So everyone that knows big people that do big business, they know that friendship is a very important thing. A lot of business is done on the basis of I like you and I'm your friend, and therefore I will give you better terms. I will work for you easier. When people have larger amounts of money and very small amounts of money, it's not really relevant. But in large amounts of money, you're nicer to your friends because of that. And the Torah is saying Talmidei Chachamim should be your friends, and you should act to them as if they're in the way that you act to your best friends. So you take them their investments for you give them better terms. You work for them in that way. You give them like precedence. You give them the highest position in your online marketplace and things like that. That is the Torah law, and that is how the Rambam expects Talmidei Chachamim to actually support themselves. And he goes on talking about other things that Talmidei Chachamim are exempt from, like certain taxes, and he says that actually also this law is correct till to this day, that their Talmidei Chachamim do not have to pay certain taxes, and so on. So therefore I want to say that I think that the Rambam very clearly, so everyone does the apologetic on the Rambam, says, well, what can we do? How are we going to learn if we don't have money? The Rambam actually gave you the answer. This is how you could learn without destroying the prestige of Torah, and the opposite, with giving the Torah more prestige, by giving the Talmidei Chacham that does little business the honor and the respect and the friendly accommodations that you give to your best friend who does business with you. And therefore, this is also a call to any of my friends who are great business people, very ready to do this deal, put in a little bit of capital, and slowly will grow more. And I think that this is the real ultimate plan to how to support this Beis Medrash. And it's also, as you understand, this also actually gives it prestige, because everyone knows in most societies, the investors, we could call it the capitalists, not exactly a nice word for everyone, but the people that their money runs the marketplace are in a higher level than the people who actually do the work. And the Talmidei Chachamim, just like they're providing the intellectual food, intellectual stimulation for the community and guidance and so on, they also should be in the same way providing the financial guidance, being like the people that people do business with them, or maybe even use them for advice. I think I've discussed last year, I think, one of the functions of a Rebbe, of a teacher, of a Talmidei Chacham, to be a center of the community, which also means that he will be in the Shadchen, or something like the coordinator between different people who need different business, the employers, employees, business deals, and so on. And it's not to be expected that he does this for free. People think, if you're a Rebbe, then you should introduce me to my business partner for free. No, it should be understood that just like you respect your friend who is in business, who knows people, and you will compensate him, you will do better deals with him because he's your friend, because he introduced you to people, you need to do the same for the Talmidei Chacham. So this is the actual plan. And we might be able to justify also our campaign in the same way, but this is already a Pirim Torah, because everyone understands that most people that give money to these kind of online campaigns, it's really a business friendship, right? If you do business with me, so I give you some money for your campaign, and I give you money for your campaign. So just like you can, so if someone gives money to their business partner because they're running an online campaign, so he wants to help him, so this is like one way of showing his love and friendship, that you could give the money to the Talmidei Chacham himself, to the Torah itself, who is running a campaign, and to show your friendship. And just like in business, I think the purpose of all this campaign is to get people together, so eventually we should be able to do business together, and we should be able to make money in a legitimate way, not only in like asking for money for, it's not for free, for the work that we do, but in exchange for the work we do, the correct way is to be enmeshed, to be part of the investment kind of world and the business world, and to create actual productivity together. Thank you.